Hey everyone, it's Troy Jackson with this week's weekly update here from Augusta. And it's been a hectic week, a couple different snowstorms, but we're still getting a lot done here. And one of the things that certainly is very exciting is the $450 relief checks are going to start going out this week. Those relief checks were passed under LD3 in a bipartisan manner. You're eligible if you're making $100,000 or less. If you're a head of household making $150,000 or less, or if you're a joint household making $200,000 or less, you don't have to do anything to receive the $450 relief check. If you filed your 2021 taxes, just like with the $850 program previously, then you're automatically going to get these $450 checks starting this week. They're going to start coming out and they'll be arriving in your mail shortly. I've said it a number of times now. We know that this is more of a Band-Aid, but we're certainly going to be working on trying to do more things long term. So in addition to the checks, there was expanded LIHEAP funding in LD3. If you received HEAP benefit already, you'll get an additional one because of LD3. We worked with the CAP agencies. They're going to be distributing this over the next couple weeks. The CAP agencies have done a tremendous amount of work. We had a press conference with ACAP, Jason Parent, the CAP agencies overall, Maine Energy Marketers Association, which has done a great work, and Maine State Housing, all come together to make sure that people knew about it and call out how important this program was going forward.
Senator Jackson is not only plugged in leadership here in Augusta, but he's very plugged in with the needs of the people of Wisconsin County who he advocates for every day.
So one of the other things I wanted to talk about was the Fort Kent Legal Aid Clinic. This is a bill that I talked about certainly a number of times in the past. I've introduced LD 1924. The bill will allow the University of Maine School of Law to open a satellite legal clinic in Fort Kent. We were able to pass it last session with a lot of support here in the legislature. It's up and running now. We have 2 students, one of them actually from Aroostook County. Toby Jondro, a lawyer in Fort Kent, has actually run the program. It's right there on the University of Maine Fort Kent campus. As lawmakers, we often talk about making sure working Maine families in rural areas aren't left behind. All across Maine, really in rural parts of America, it's becoming more and more challenging to get legal representation. Legal representation is right, not just a luxury for the elite. This bill, we can begin to close the justice gap and better protect the unalienable rights of our constituents. And this is the type of program where people from rural Maine can hopefully get trained right there in rural Maine and hopefully stay in rural Maine. It's a model that I believe we're going to start replicating across rural parts of Maine. So now we're in the part of the legislature where the public hearings are going to start happening more and more. This week, we started having a few, but we're really going to start ramping up now with these public hearings. We came through COVID where we had to set up a virtual system, but now that we're back in the legislature, back here in person, I've fought to make sure that we keep the virtual system. Obviously Maine's a big state. Where I come from, Aroostook County, we're a long ways from Augusta. And now we have a system where everyday working class people, if they have 15 minutes in their day, they can get on to a public hearing and make their opinions known, put forward the issues that are important to them. And if you want to testify, you can drive here, you can come in, come to the committee process and testify in person. But if you don't have that opportunity, all you have to do is go on to mainelegislature.org /testimony, and that gives you the opportunity to testify. If you want to look at what we're having for bills upcoming, you can go to mainelegislature.org /calendar. That'll give you a list of public hearings that are up, but it is by far the most open, transparent process in the Maine legislature's history, and I'm really quite proud to have been part of that, especially coming from where I do, being a working class person. It's a big deal that more people get that opportunity. So that's it for this week's weekly update. We'll see you and have a great week.